Hello friends, welcome back. In this session we are going to look at meetings in project management, and by the end of this session we shall have designed our meetings page in Notion. So my name is Nohum Tebi. I'm a data-driven growth coach. So let's look at the role of meetings. Now meetings are an essential part of project management because they help keep everyone on track, resolve issues, and ensure that the project is moving forward as intended. And by doing this, meetings foster communication, collaboration, decision-making, transparency, and stakeholder engagement. So let's dive into Notion and design our meetings page. Now, all of us are aware that before any project commences, or before you initiate a project, you must have meetings. So which means taking care of meetings is actually very essential in the very first stages of the design. Previously, we designed our home page and we have a section for meetings here. So let me first collapse this or close the sidebar so that I can have a bigger interface. I can even choose to make this a little bit bigger. Alright, so we are now going to start working on our meetings page. Okay, so we are going to open our page. Now you have to be very careful. There are a few commands and a few tweaks that I'm going to be applying here and there, so you have to be careful. So you can also proceed working on your project management tool. So the first thing you are going to do is we are going to come to click on these three dots at the top right corner, and now make our text small so you can see changes, and also make our page full width. Alright, so you can see some bit of changes here. So after doing that, I am now going to introduce to you something or a new block, okay, in Notion. So this block is known as databases. So Notion has lots of blocks. One of the blocks we've looked at is the page. All right, so we have the page. Now we are going to look at databases. So we are going to create our meetings in form of databases. So Notion also has tables. So tables and databases may look a little bit similar, but they are different. So some of you are familiar with the normal databases, relational databases, let's say like MySQL and others. You realize there are lots of things that you can do. So you can link one field to another and so on and so forth. So that is the same thing that this databases feature actually may do in Notion. So we are going to create our meetings as a database. All right, so I am going to click here. Maybe before that we can also try to design and put a cover page for our meetings. So let me come here, click on cover. Now of course something will be pre-selected here. So I can choose change cover and I can choose a color. Alright, so you can see yellow, but I can try Unsplash and search for an image like meetings. I can choose any that suits my use case. Probably, let me choose this. Okay, so I can reposition this so that the faces appear a little bit. Alright, save that. So that is our meetings page. Now before I proceed, there is also another feature that I'm going to do here. So this we are going to apply later on. Alright, so I am going to add two columns. Okay, and now I am going to reposition this one and make it a little bit, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we shall understand why I did this later on towards the end of this tutorial. So for purposes of marking, I can say meetings this size. I'm now going to add a database here. So I'm going to search for database and I'm going to choose database in line. So what I'm going to do is, now you can see once I select the database table, I'll have untitled and also have tags, and I'm able also to add other options. So name is the default, so I'll leave the meeting. This will be the meeting name. Probably I can say meeting name. So I am going to call this database meetings, right? And I'll leave this as table for now. So we have the meeting name. After the meeting name, I'm going to add other fields here. Let me just delete this. Okay, so I'm going to add another property. Now the property I'm going to add here is going to be the meeting date. So you can see I have some suggested properties here. So I'm going to add the meeting date. So this meeting date, in fact, I'm going to call it date and time. The time I can leave it as 12 hours. If you wish, you can make it 24 hours. And I'll wrap. So that meeting date is done. For example, I can choose a date here, include time. So you can see I can also choose the time. Let's say it is at 12 p.m. So and of course you can see now our properties here. I have the date and the time. Okay, so I'm going to just keep this for practice. I'll select this and delete them. So once that is done, let me call this trial meeting. So that property is done. So I'm going to add another property here. So, and this property, I am going to call this created by. Now, this is the person that creates the meeting. Okay. So you can see automatically whoever, in case I'm to add another page for meeting, I'll be assigned as the created by individual. So that property does that. So that we know who created this meeting. So I also make this adjust this. So I'm going to add another property and call it type. So, and this is going to be our meeting type. And after that, I'll edit this property and make it a select. Now, usually we have different meeting types in companies. So we are going to add the different options. So some of the meeting types can be the project team meetings. These are regular meetings, project status meetings. We can have stakeholder engagement meetings, project workshops. We can have walkthrough meetings, problem solving meetings, debrief meetings, and so on. So what we are going to do is sometimes you can have these meetings scheduled. Let's say have team weekly meetings, you have daily stand-up meetings, you can have trainings and workshops, or you can have any other kinds of meetings. So let me just keep this to team meetings. So when I select the select property, I can add different options. Okay, so these are the options where you can be able to select one at a go. So these are the team meetings. I also add an option of let's say in case you do daily stand-ups, so you can also have stakeholder meetings. So these can be meetings with the donors and others. And of course, we can have the training and workshops. I'm also going to add others. So probably you can have any other meetings. So we can now see under our type property, I can be able to select any of these. For example, maybe this is a team meeting. So you can select any property, but also you can change these colors. So you can choose any color of your choice. Okay, so that is how that property works. I'm going to readjust it so you can see I can do this and this for me to be able to see other properties. After that, I'm going to add another property, and this property is going to be attendees. You can have different options for attendees. First of all, if all the members that must attend this meeting are invited on the call, then you can probably select a person, okay, so that you can have other team members being selected as attendees. However, if also you're engaging people who are outside the Notion workspace or team space, then you have to, we can make this a multi-select. So what does it mean? You may have to add names manually. For example, I can say Nuhu is one of them, but still the beauty here is I can keep adding others manually. For example, I can say Michael has also been part of this. I can say Claire is also an attendee today, and so on and so forth. And also in the future, in case I'm to add, I am able to add other attendees as I wish. For example, I can select these ones already here, or even select more. Okay, so that is how this property works. Let me delete this. Okay, so I'm going to add another property. Okay, and this property is going to be, now allow me, for now I am going to delete this so that I can have a bigger interface, but later on we shall add this. So let me delete this for now to have a bigger interface. So usually for meetings that can be enough, okay? But later on, as we create other pages, let's say projects, tasks, and so on, we can interlink these meetings to those tasks so that we can have something that is a little bit more interactive. Okay, so when I'm at the meetings page, I can easily check out probably if it is a task or if it is a project. If it is linked to this task, I can easily find the task this meeting is linked to, and so on and so forth. You can add other fields as you wish to your meetings page, but for now this is what we can have. Okay, so now I can go ahead and customize this. So I can rename this to all, and the all is the layout. Alright, so I can also add another layout that is in form of probably a calendar. Okay, so in case I'm to add this layout, you can see it can show me that I have a meeting here, and so on and so forth. So you can add other layout, for example, and of course here also you can add other groups and filters, probably filter by attendees. So you can see you can choose to only display that, and you can do a lot of things with these meetings. So for now I'll delete this. How do I add a meeting? It is so easy. I can come here, add a new page. I call it project. So this is a meeting for project initiation. So what is the date? This will be on Monday, and it will be at 1 p.m. created by, so meeting type, probably it is a team meeting, and attendees, Nuhu, can say James. James is probably the donor, and maybe Claire. So this is how we are able to add our meetings. Now once you've added this, later on you can come open this. Here you can add the agenda. So you list the agenda here, and also the meeting notes. Okay, so I can come here, continue writing. So let me just get something small from AI and accept it. So these are the meeting notes. So I can also come here, just want to write with AI. I come here and ask, let me so when I ask AI, it is thinking through. Okay, so AI has also generated me an agenda. Now probably I can come here, AI, and ask a question. I say, and of course you can see now I have my meeting notes here. So I can change this, turn it into heading 1. So you can see I have my meeting notes. I can even maximize this, and of course later on when we are to come in the future, I can open here, read the agenda, have the notes, and so on and so forth. So this is how the meetings work. So you can customize this further to suit your needs and have everything as you wish. But as for now, we have our on our projects page. When I come here, I am able to see meetings, and I am now able to open any meeting, and I see what actually happens. So that is how we are able to utilize meetings, and that is how we are able to create meetings so that we can keep our project going and to keep track of every single thing that we are doing in our project. So thank you so much. Let's meet in the next session where we shall design our projects page. So in that page, probably we might interlink meetings and so on and so forth. So see you then. Cheers.